All right, guys, look, I like my drama and my tea just as much as the next person. All right, I watch 90 Day Fiance every single week, but this video, this is not that.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
Don't you want to feel good? This should make you feel good. All right, so this is going to be a quick video, but I just wanted to go over something in particular. So DeMar DeRozan recently went on to a podcast with Brian Windhorst. I'm not going to play it because ESPN is very tough on copyright. I don't even want to risk it. But basically, they talked about his book, and we'll talk about that in a second. They talked about his background, talked about his dad, influences that DeMar DeRozan has had throughout his career. And the part that I really care about is them talking about Greg Popovich. And in this section, I wasn't aware of this, but for his new book, Above the Noise, Greg Popovich, Coach Pop, actually wrote the foreword for it. And one thing that Brian Windhorst brings up is that he thinks is very thought-provoking, and that, you know, Popovich didn't just sit down and type it up really quickly. He really thought about it, and it was very impressive. And DeMar DeRozan, even throughout, he's very gleeful of it. Like he's very happy about it. And it's just a really cool moment there, talking about that. But I want to talk about this quote in particular, because I think that the type of coach that Popovich is often lost. And I think that this sums it up pretty doggone well. So this is from DeMar DeRozan. He said, "It was a different time when my dad was really struggling." And as you guys know, his dad did pass away. But he said, when my dad was really struggling, there were so many times where there were certain games where Pop would come to me and ask me something. And he'd tell me after the game, just go home. We have to shoot around in 2 days. You don't have to be a shoot around. Just be ready for the game. There were so many games I had in San Antonio where in between games, I wasn't there. I was tending to my dad. He allowed me to do that with no distraction, no nothing. He told me I didn't have to worry about the media, and it was the coolest thing because there were so many moments I cherished with my dad during that time that Pop allowed me to do it with no issue at all. I want to emphasize this. This is not normal behavior. I don't care what anyone thinks of Popovich. All I have is my own opinion. And I truly do believe, and I don't just throw this out there, okay? Especially when we're talking about character and people that we don't know in person or anything like that. Everything we come from Popovich, we can only really judge him off of what we see and what other people have said about him. And he just seems like a really phenomenal person. I mean, I don't know how to, walk around this. Like, he seems like a genuinely phenomenal person. But not only that, even if we want to just keep it in the realm of basketball, like, Clan, I don't care about any of that stuff. I only care about basketball. This type of mentality as a coach, these make the greatest of coaches, okay? Regardless of what the landscape of this team looks like this season, or maybe even next season, just know that having a coach like this will impact players for the future. Wembanyama, if we want to just keep it to win-loss, Wembanyama is really going to grow as a professional and as a player with those fond memories of having Popovich. But this isn't most important, but important to us as fans, we're going to see it. We're going to see the product of having Popovich as a coach in the future with Wemby, if Popovich decides to retire before Wemby does. But yeah, I just want to bring that up because this is a big deal, man. And I think that this is just some really sweet, cool, wholesome news, and it's nice to see this. And DeMar DeRozan has even brought up how he felt as if he was Tim Duncan when he was with San Antonio. That's how they treat him. They didn't treat him like, oh, you're somebody that can just come and go, or you're our second best player. They didn't see him that way. They were like, no, we're going to treat you like the star that you are. We're going to show you a lot of respect. And I say this all the time, man, but I think this shows the difference between guys that truly were stars and how the Spurs treated them versus guys who think that they were stars and they go on to bash on the Spurs. There is a huge difference. Most players praise San Antonio. There's like very few. I mean, I can't even throw Robert Horry in that mix anymore because he's gotten off his BS, right? He's been really cool when talking about the Spurs. I mean, Steven Jackson has gone back as well on his word, but it's very few guys that actually have something negative to say about the Spurs. And it's unfortunate because some fans, you know, who already don't like Popovich, didn't like Popovich in the 90s when he made himself the head coach and had a grudge against him ever since, they will see one article or one statement from one player saying that Popovich was this and that was a problem, and they will run with it and say, see, I told you, Popovich is the devil. And it's like, no, dude, he actually seems like, it's very few times I'll say this, and I don't just throw this out there, okay? Popovich seems like a good person, and I really like that, and I'm happy to have him as a coach, man. Hold on to him as long as we possibly can. And he hasn't lost touch. I know people will say, well, he's lost touch, he's too old. He's, with his mentality and how he is and how he approaches life, he's constantly adjusting. When presented with new information, he's able to adjust his thoughts, adjust his beliefs, and move forward. And when you have that type of mentality, you're never too old. I'm sorry. That's how I view it. That's how I view it. Okay. I would like to think that at the age of 80, whatever, I'll be able to take in new information and, you know, derive a new belief from that information, you know, truthful information, that is. So, and it seems like Popovich has done that in life and in the game of basketball. So, yeah, I just wanted to sprinkle a little bit of positivity. Okay, just a little bit of positivity. And yeah, you guys let me know what you think of that. Some other good news: Diddy got arrested. That's pretty cool, right? We don't like Diddy. None of us like Diddy, but did he do it? Diddy did it. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Until next time, man. Bye.